Hello, folks. We are in West Point. Dr. Clarence Moniba and his vast stand-up bearer, Madam Grace Pound, as they are strolling through West Point. As you can see, Dr. Clarence Moniba is the presidential candidate for NANU and the fastest growing politician or presidential candidate in this 2023 presidential election. Dr. Clarence Moniba came into the political landscape at a very crucial time, and he has won the hearts of many Liberians by his campaign activities and his campaign message. Dr. Clarence Moniba once served as the former Minister of State and the head for the Presidential Delivery Unit, chaired on NEC. Dr. Clarence Moniba served as key negotiator or head of the negotiating team on the President said he negotiated several projects, which include the NEC Monkovi hydropower plant. He negotiated for the Somera Drive road project that was completed and then turned over on President George Weah. And also negotiated for the Coconut Bombing Road project, and also negotiated for the Born Low Fat Road project. So Dr. Clarence Moniba began his campaign through, and so far we have visited over 7 counties in Liberia. Yesterday we were in Bombing County, where Dr. Clarence Moniba were received overwhelmingly by the towns and by the town residents. So Dr. Clarence Moniba campaign tactics is visiting town, visiting villages, going from community to community, door to door, talking to the people, giving them the message for a better Liberia and for a new Liberia. Dr. Clarence Moniba is saying, instead of us voting for the same old people, it's time that we bring a new breed of leadership that will transform this country, because the past and the present did nothing. So it's time that we vote for our future. So he's claiming to be the future. So he's moving from town to town, community to community, village to village, speaking to residents of these towns and villages, telling them that he's here to change the dynamics of Liberian politics. He's here to redeem the Liberians. He's here to So we are in West Point, one of the slum community in Liberia, besides Monserrato or Monrovia. So we are going through West Point. As you can see, Dr. Clarence Moniba and his VSB, they are at the back of the pickup, waving and speaking to the people of this market, the West Pointer and residents of this community. So Dr. Clarence Moniba is recognized as the most educated presidential candidate for this race. He holds two masters with a PhD. Dr. Clarence Moniba. Dr. Clarence Moniba once worked on a presidential government as the head of state, as Minister of State with portfolio. He also served as head on the presidential delivery team. He also served as chairman on ADC. And Dr. Clarence Moniba has worked in both private and public sectors. He once worked for the World Bank and African Development Bank as well as consultant of these institutions. So Dr. Clarence Moniba is an experienced candidate because he has served in both the private and public sector. And Dr. Clarence Moniba is saying he's here to change Liberia. He helped to make Liberians benefit from their resources. He's here to bring a new style of leadership instead of us continuing the same old breed of people since 2005 to now. It's time that we vote new leader. So we are in West Point. So we are in West Point. Dr. Clarence Moniba is showing to West Point. We have been into several counties in Liberia, and by next we will be heading to the southeast. So we are back in Monrovia, very precise West Point. We are straight into West Point, where the mass gathering will be held at the West Point field. There where we are heading. As you can see, Dr. Clarence Moniba is on top of the vehicle, waving to residents of West Point here. So Dr. Clarence Moniba is one of the fastest growing politicians. He has won the heart of many Liberians by his agenda and his campaign tactics, but visiting the people So Dr. Clarence Moniba is saying he's not here for mass gathering, but instead reaching out to the people, going to them, talking to them, begging them for their support. It's time that Liberians take up the stand to vote a new breed of leadership that will be able to transform this country instead of repeating the same old people that's repeating the same people but getting the same result. So it's time that will bring new people, new breed of leadership, that will help transform this country. So he's continuing to preach his campaign message, and Liberians are falling for it. Liberians are liking and falling in love with his campaign messages, and they are saying they have listened to all of the presidential candidates' messages, but his message have gave a clear dimensions on what he's going to be doing, have gave a clear points on his developmental agenda, things that he will be doing, and that's what they want, instead of throwing jobs and not doing what is right. So we are in West Point. Like I said previously, we are in West Point here, strolling through West Point. Dr. Clarence Moniba is strolling through West Point, visiting the people of West Point, continuing his town-to-town community engagement here. Yesterday we were in Bombing County. We spent 2 days in Bombing County, where Dr. Clarence Moniba visited over 10 towns and villages in Bombing County, and he was welcomed by the people of these towns and villages. And now we are in West Point. We are in West Point, as you can see. So many people have come out to welcome Dr. Clarence Moniba here in West Point. Dr. Clarence Moniba is continuing his one at a time engagement. That's mean going to the people, talking to them one at a time, explaining to them, convincing them that he's here to transform this country. He's the real one. He's the perfect person that God had for this country, that's going to transform this country. So that's his message out here. He's walking to the people, going to their houses, talking to them, appealing to them to vote for him comes October 10th, 2023, so that Liberia can never be the way it is, so that Liberians can have a better life, Liberians can have a better system. So that the Clarence Moniba political agenda, he talks about education, he talks about health, he talks about agriculture. He said if he becomes president of Liberia, through the agricultural sector, he will make sure that 15 counties in Liberia will be responsible to produce food that will be able to feed every Liberians in Liberia. So he's saying every county will be responsible to produce certain type of food that will be able to supply every homes in Liberia. Instead of us buying rice, instead of us buying pepper from other countries, importing this thing into our country, while we have the resource here, we will be here and we will produce our own food. And saying that every manufacturing companies or industries that are mining in Liberia, they will be able to manufacture these things, and so that Liberians can get job. He's saying that education, he's gonna make sure as a mandate, gonna be mandatory that a high school graduate, person graduating from high school, we work out with.
Yeah.
We work out with. We work out with both the high school certificate and that of a 2 years vocational trail. That means as soon as you enter 10th grade, you will automatically be able to get a vocational skill at the same time getting your high school skill to education as well. So once you are graduating from high school, you're going to be trained into whatever career path you have chosen. You'll be graduating with a certificate in whatever career path you choose, and also with a high school certificate too as well. So Dr. Clarence Moniba, like I said previously, served as Minister of State without portfolio on presidential leave, and he also served as head for the Presidential Delivery Unit on presidential leave as well. And then he also served as the youngest chairman on LDC board, where he negotiated for the Mount Coffee hydropower plant, and Dr. Clarence Moniba also negotiated for the ATM terminal, the newly built ATM terminal. Dr. Clarence Moniba was the one that oversaw that project, and Dr. Clarence Moniba also oversaw several projects on presidential leave and negotiated for several projects on presidential leave, like the Somalia Drive Road project that was completed and turned over on President Weah. That Clarence Moniba was the one that negotiated for that project. He also negotiated for Coca-Cola Fire Trade Bond County Road project, and also the Bond Lofa Highway Road project as well. That Clarence Moniba was the key negotiator for those projects. That Clarence Moniba is believed to be the most educated presidential candidate in this 2023 presidential election. He holds 2 masters with a PhD. Dr. Clarence Moniba is the son of former Vice President on President Doe, Dr. Henry F. Moniba. So Dr. Clarence Moniba is new into the political arena. Like I said, this is his first trial into the presidency, and he has won the hearts of many Liberians, the young people, the elderly people. He has won their heart through his campaign message. He has won their heart through his campaign tactics. That is by going to them, walking to them, talking to them, allowing them to have a dialogue, having a one-on-one dialogue with the people, explaining to them his campaign agenda and what he's going to be doing if being elected. And all of the towns and villages that we have visited so far, the people of these towns and villages welcome Dr. Clarence Moniba by saying it is the first of its kind for them to be able to talk one-on-one with a presidential candidate. To talk one-on-one with a presidential candidate, the first of its kind. So, for that reason, if Dr. Clarence Moniba can walk to them and talk to them, then that means he's a true leader. That means he have a pure heart and he going to rule this country in the right direction, and every Liberian's going to benefit, and their children going to get a better education, and their children going to get a better job. So for that reason, they're going to vote for him. So this is how Dr. Clarence Moniba is running his campaign. He's moving through towns and villages, and moving through communities, talking to the people, walking from door to door, talking to the people, allowing them to talk to him, to dialogue with him, and then explaining his campaign agenda on things that he's going to do if they trust and vote him comes October 10, 2023. So now we are in West Point, where Dr. Clarence Moniba is strolling through West Point here in Monrovia. Like I said, 2 days ago we were in Bombing County. So Dr. Clarence Moniba every day, so as you can see, the people are happily receiving that the Moniba. Alright, so we are heading to the westpoint field where a mass gathering will be held, where Dr. Clarence Moniba will be addressing the people. And so right after his tour here through the street of West Point, we will be then climaxing at the football field in West Point. So we'll bring you more coverage as we go further with this. Thank you for viewing.